1966, Mao Zedong had a problem. The Chinese people were being forced to work tirelessly on land they once owned themselves, and they were starting to lose morale. And despite reports of widespread famine with millions of people starving to death, Mao kept production quotas high.
The pace grows more frantic. Ceaselessly without rest, one observer writes, the countryside is in convulsion.
Mao's Great Leap Forward ended in 1962. By that time, somewhere between 23 and 55 million people had died in the famine. 2 months before the swim, Mao had announced the beginning of his Great Proletarian Cultural Revolution, a call to hunt down and eliminate the bourgeoisie who had sneaked into the party, basically to purge the government of anyone who strayed from principles of Maoism. And it kicked into high gear after his historic swim, which prompted a craze for swimming in China, but more importantly, a craze for Mao, especially among the group that Mao wanted to influence the most, China's youth. Writer Lang Heng recalled that seeing Mao as human flesh and blood after the Yangtze swim resolved him to serve him with all his heart. Millions of Chinese youth organized into the fanatical Red Guards, a paramilitary force concentrated mostly in Chinese cities. And with Mao's blessing, they wreaked havoc in the name of cultural revolution. Their mission was to destroy the four olds.
Old culture, old ideology, old customs, old traditions, all of the olds must be destroyed.
The idea was basically to tear down the vestiges of imperial China and rewrite history centered around Mao Zedong, renaming buildings and streets, destroying cultural sites, and violently humiliating and often torturing and murdering anyone they accused of opposing Mao's ideas, which they plastered all over the cities and carried in their pockets in the form of Mao's Little Red Book, a collection of his sayings and principles. And although the violent Red Guards were basically dissolved by 1969, the Cultural Revolution is considered to have continued until Mao's death in 1976, ending a decade of destruction that had elevated the leader to godlike levels and resulted in over 1 million people dead.